And his last card's a Vincent. Down by 38 with 2 cards. But you know what? We got this, guys. I think. I think the math works out. Phillipe would give us a poison 2. That's 2 more points than the Fangs of the Empire. It's probably the right choice, is looking if we can maybe get him to do something else next turn. No, we only get 1 poison from him. Still, it's pretty good. And there's a poison. They're down by 9. We can take a mirror. That'd be good. Yeah, we take a mirror here. A mirror can help us draw our ball next round, and we still are winning. Today we're going to be playing another Masquerade Ball deck, but this time after the patch where we have all of the new buffs, the status-giving cards. And I thought this would be pretty fun. I tried a couple versions of it before recording this, and they didn't go so well. So this is the newest version. Hopefully this one goes better, and let's see how it goes. I think this will be much better than the other ones. We'll just go through the cards real quick here. We have the Masquerade Ball for our short round power, and it also gives us a way to give out a bunch of poisons. That's nice. The Thirsty Dame is actually pretty useful here. We're running Artois because I wanted him as a finisher. In the previous versions of the deck, I ran different finishers. I think I want to go with the Artois, and he's just really good. He gives you a flexibility on what you want for your last card. He has the Assimilate, which is nice, and he can give you something that's really helpful for your deck. We have the Coup for the Conspiracy. We're mostly using on the Joachim, and then we use it for whatever else we want. We can put Spyings out there, not with the consistency of, say, the meta Assimilate deck, but we can put it out enough to make something, like give something spying that we want to Coup from the opponent's field. Running Vincent as a finisher for removal. I like Vincent. You could cut Vincent if you want and run Amir instead. I was running Amir in previous versions of this deck. He didn't do super well though, so I didn't actually include him in this version. I think his buff's good, but we really knows there's no Brathens in here, and he really shines with the Brathens and the Duchess Informants when he can steal those 1 power spying cards back. Reason we didn't do that is because we need the provisions, especially because Masquerade Ball and Artois are very expensive, and I thought the Artois would do better than the other guys. Brothen's still a very good card, though. You could put him here instead of Artois if you want to. I would not say anything about that. Coup, Joachim, we went over Vincent's removal. We have the Invocation to take their card. As everyone knows, this is one of Nilfgaard's strongest cards, and very defining of them, really. But yeah, we're running it, as we would be weird not to run it. We have Phillipe the Immortal Helm. So after his change, he's got Deploy, Control Vampire, Gain Zeal, Order, Give Doom. That's handy against stuff like the Witch's Sabbath decks. You can give out Doom and they don't come back. It's not a bad use. And then if it already has any status, you lock it instead. That's pretty handy. And then if it has 1 or more status, you poison. This is what we really want to go for here, the poisons. As we're running a lot of poison cards, because I want to just put out as many poisons as possible. So really we're going to try and get the poisons from this, but the Doom certainly has uses as well, and the lock's never bad. We have Fergus. He's our main way of putting out spyings. He puts out 3. That's pretty nice. They give out statuses. Then we can use Phillipe. Wow, that was some great pronunciation. Phillipe to put out the locks on the things that have the spying, which isn't bad. And then we can start putting out the poisons, stuff like that. He also sets up the Artois pretty nicely, so that's pretty good. We have the Cupbearer for the Poison Purify. Pretty handy to have him here. Like I said, we have a lot of poisons. We have Auckes. This could be anything. The reason we have Auckes is just because I cut the, the Brathens. I cut Brathens to fit in the Artois, and then I had to cut 2 provisions, so I cut an 8 down to 8 Auckes, just because looking at the 6 provision cards, there weren't any others I really wanted to include. But this could be anything. You could bump the bronzes if you want to. That wouldn't be a problem at all. Especially here if you want to go to the 5s. Well, I gotta wait a second, we'll get there. So then we have the 2 Blight Makers to play our Mage Assassins. I tried running versions of this deck where the Blight Makers made Rot Tossers to get as many statuses as possible. I don't think that's amazing. Actually, I think it's pretty bad. But you can do it if you want to. I mean, sometimes it happens that you end up with like a Mage Assassin in your hand, you have to keep playing, and you can Blight Maker your Coup or something. The 2 Rot Tossers. Now, Rot Tosser is interesting. with all the statuses it get in our deck, the 2 poisons might not be bad. And you'll see why in a minute, because we are running both 2 Thirsty Dames and 2 Seditious Aristocrats. This is just because I want to benefit as much as possible from all these statuses. Especially Thirsty Dames, card that you used to not run in Ball, right? You used to not run this. You just have the Seditious Aristocrats and relying on the Spying, because Aristocrat's better, because it gains 1 on deploy for each Spying, whereas the Thirsty Dame has to be out. So there's this Aristocrat come down to like a 6 or 7 and not be in danger of dying, which is a pretty big advantage. But with a Thirsty Dame, we can get a whole bunch of boosts. That's basically what this comes down to. Is can get a whole bunch of boosts, and it's also, I wanted to add it because having the Zeal on Phillipe is really important, and the only vampires we have are Thirsty Dame and Van Morlehem Hunter. And without Thirsty Dame in the deck, you're pretty much waiting for Phillipe to come out on your Ball round, because the Ball makes the vampire, and that's not really helpful. I want to be able to play Phillipe with the Zeal more often, so I put the Thirsty Dame in for that reason too. But you can get a lot of boosts from this when you move the when you're applying all these statuses, right? Not just Spying. So we're trying this out. Still want the 2 Seditious Aristocrats because it is good, and I want a lot of Aristocrats in the deck, so we can pretty much always be using Ball. Now, Seditious Aristocrat's less good than normal. It's pretty much we're only going to be playing it in the round with Fergus, and that's going to be a 7. That's like okay, but the other thing is you get 1 here from Joachim and then 1 from the Joachim one. So you pretty much want to be playing those all in the same round. The Vincent, or the Joachim, the Coup, and the Aristocrats and Fergus pretty much always want to be doing in the same round. And that round's usually going to set up your finisher of your Artois. Now, you could cut the Seditious Aristocrats because there isn't that much Spying in the deck. I wouldn't say that's a bad idea. You could remove them, maybe put in the Mage Torturers, but at that point you're putting the Spying back in. So, up to you really. I wanted to try this out. I wanted more Aristocrats really, because if you look at the Aristocrats, the issue with them, so as far as the bronze ones, there's only 3. It's only 3 bronze ones. And then like Phillipe, we don't want to play most of the time. Vincent, we want to save for a finisher, a very specific scenario. Joachim, we want to save for Coup, and it also doesn't trigger the Ball. It's really on just the Phillipe, Vincent and Fergus, and they're all very specific. Like you want to play these all in a very specific time. And then we have the 2 Dames and the 2 Hunters. The Hunters have a lock, so they're not like a proactive card. You won't be playing those necessarily. You don't want to be playing those like randomly. And then if you're locking something, you're not going to be poisoning it. So you might run out of targets to put poisons on from the Masquerade Ball. So I put the Aristocrats in, the Seditious Aristocrats, because we didn't really have that many Aristocrats. You could alternatively keep Amir, and Amir would help with setting up Artois too. You could do that, but you have to cut something then. Probably Auckes. So yeah, that's just the logic why we have these guys in here, even though we don't have that much Spying synergy. The 2 things to the Empire for more poisons, because we want to be playing a lot of poisons. 1 Van Morlehem Servant. You could run 2. I tried playing a Servant-based deck where you put as many statuses as possible, just copy them around. It was pretty fun. I don't think it's really going to... I think it's better to not make our deck completely around that. So you could fit this in here. You could swap a Hunter for this. Wouldn't say anything about that either. And with the 2 Mage Assassins. So overall, the deck, I think it's interesting. Ball and Artois take a lot of provisions. The Brothans, and then one of the Spying, well, probably Emissary and Duchess Informant. Usually you want to run 2, in case you don't brick them if they don't play a bronze. It might be a better alternative here. And you might want to put more giving Spying in, maybe a Mage Torturer or 2 if you're running the Artois, but this should be fine, right? We thin a lot. We thin 2 with Blightmakers. We thin with the Joachim twice. And we should have a pretty consistent deck overall. So I wouldn't be too concerned here. The only thing is you could also fit in here, if you don't like Cupbearer, or you don't like, well, I'd keep Fergus running Artois. But if you're not running Artois, you could put in the Dead Man's Tongue here instead of Fergus, and thin some more. At that point, probably take out the Seditious Aristocrats too, though. So that might be a different version. I just wanted to try this one. I really like Artois as a finisher, and we were going to try and see how much we can get off of him this time. So that was a little longer than normal explaining this deck, but there's a lot of options you can go with here. We're just going with this one, and let's see how it does. Alright, let's find out what our first matchup will be. I think this will do a bit better than the versions I was testing earlier. I think we have a bit more flexibility, really.
Patience is not a virtue.
Imposter. Okay, this could be interesting. So what do we think he's playing? My guess is this is another ball deck. Pretty much all the Nilfgaard decks I see, or I have seen the past couple days, have been Masquerade Ball. Which is pretty interesting if you think about it. One of my buddies always says Masquerade Ball is underpowered, and I keep telling him it's not. So we're going to try and prove it again here. Now this hand is, it's a hand. It is a hand. Really the only thing we're looking for in these hands is Masquerade Ball. We don't have it here. But we have to figure out what this guy's playing. My guess is he's also playing a ball deck, so let's try and set up some engines here. I think we might need to use our Phillipe here, and we'll try and get some poisons out, because we have the Rot Tosser, and the Rot Tosser gives you +3 on the Thirsty Dame if you have it live. It's a big if sometimes. Okay, he's going to go for this. He might use Collar on it. Nah, he won't. Okay, we could go for the Rot Tosser then. Really, we know he's not going to have anything big to poison. What the Rot Tossers really excel against is stuff like monsters with the Defender, which is Sabbath deck, so you can just put the Rot Tosser in between. He's gonna go for a coup. Okay. Like I was saying, you can put the Cow Carcass in between their Defender and their guys, even though they have the Defender in that row. So you can still put poisons out like that. And if you do end up, and you can poison the Defender that way and get a lot of value. Here we're probably just gonna try and get some status points from triggering it. We'll play this other Thirsty Dame. Probably go for other. And just put some poisons out here. We do have to be a little careful. We don't want to lose all of our points here, so we do have the two things to the Empire. The poisons all going in one round is usually pretty good, but he has a lot of tempo here. Now he might Collar. Yeah, that makes sense. So I think we pass here. We are down by 22, and I don't think he's one of those decks where if you go to a long round you lose. Our long round's pretty decent. We have a lot of poisons saved up, so potentially go for a poison. We do have to watch out for his Masquerade Ball, though. We really want to draw ours here in case he tries to push this round. That's really what we're looking for. Those aren't fantastic cards. That's even worse, though. Blightmaker, so no Masquerade Ball yet. By the way, when I was going over the deck profile, I forgot to mention Jean Calvite's certainly an option you could include in that 10th version slot where we have Vincent. If you want to make sure you get your ball more often, but we don't have a lot of tactics, so that would require a bit of finessing the deck to try and get him in there. He played Jean Calvite here, so it goes right along with what I was saying. But do keep in mind, you can always Blightmaker to the top your Masquerade Ball. It's certainly something I've done. Especially if you like a Blightmaker round 2 and you are kind of getting ready to pass for that round 3, it's certainly not a bad choice. Here we're not going to do that though because we need the tempo. Alright, he's trying to hide something behind it. I think we just go for poisons. Poisons are especially good on defenders because you can't purify the poison off without losing the defender status, which is nice. We'll just poison this. If he does put something behind it, we can poison and leader ability lock. Might be like an Amir. Might be, okay, it is an Amir.
The North shall tuck tail and beg for mercy.
I think we'd lock Amir. Poison and lock. That wouldn't be awful. We could go for Phillipe too. He'll put a poison out. We don't have a vampire though, so he doesn't actually have Zeal. We'll just have to go with the regular poison. We could leader lock right here. We do have a lock in our hand though, so I think we just wait. Now we leader this. We don't want him getting extra points here. His push is really dangerous if he has his ball and we don't. So we want to make sure we're kind of thoughtful about that and don't let that happen. Okay, there's the ball. And we don't have ours, which is an issue. So I think we just lock this. And then we don't have any good poison targets. So as long as we try and maintain that, we should be okay-ish. Okay-ish. We can Fergus any of his cards to coup. So we can always try and coup the Amir to draw our ball if we really need it. Well, that's pretty good for him. We'll probably end up needing to poison that. We have to watch out for his Cupbearer, though. It might be a card he's running. But now we have our Vampire out. So Phillipe does have Zeal. Let's Fergus. I definitely want to poison, or I want to spying this, thanks to the Empire, by the way. Normally you wouldn't do that, because it's just a 4 prison card. But I want to do this in case we somehow get our Artois and need a poison from him. So having the flexibility from Artois to put a poison out will be pretty handy if we end up needing that. Because we don't really need a thirsty name. So thanks to the Empire, though, something to keep in mind. If you need a poison at the end of the game, having one set up from Artois can be a pretty important thing. Oh, we got another one? Well, that's obviously not very good for us. We're down by 22. That is a lot. Do a Phillipe. We can poison with that. If we coup Amir, we can also then steal Amir with Amir. That sounds like a pretty decent play.
Patience is not a virtue.
There, oh, we did draw Artois. Man, I'm not a prophet, but today we're kind of sounding like it. This is why you plan ahead. Sometimes you get something. Sometimes things go your way. So we did steal his Amir, which gives us an extra 2 points. Now, with Artois, we could make another poison, which gives us access to several poisons. That's a very, very good card for our deck. And we don't want him having it.
There is but one punishment for traitors.
Okay, now we're down by 30. That's a lot. But we have a lot of value in our hand. So we're not out of this yet. Okay, now we're down by 32. Don't give up. This we have to lock because it generates too many points for him. And we'll play our own here. We need to start putting on our own statuses. So this we give Doomed. And then if he doesn't take this, we're set. He invocations it. So now we're down by 31 without that. That's a bit annoying. We'll put a poison here. We do know our Artois can make a poison. It's a good thing we set that up. And his last card's a Vincent. Down by 38 with 2 cards. But you know what? We got this, guys. I think the math works out. Phillipe would give us a poison too. That's 2 more points than the Fangs of the Empire. It's probably the right choice, is looking if we can maybe get him to do something else next turn. No, we only get 1 poison from him. Still, it's pretty good. And there's a poison. They're down by 9. We can take Amir. That'd be good. Yeah, we take Amir here. Amir can help us draw our ball next round, and we still are winning. Very nice. Very nice. Now, hopefully we draw our ball, and then we should be able to win this. We're going to get Coup back. I'm not sure Coup's going to be very useful here. Okay, we got ball. Yeah, I think we just put Coup back. Normally you don't put Coup back, but we need another Aristocrat. And there he is. Honestly, the tempo from our Blight Maker would be pretty good too. Like, that's not awful. Okay, so now we can't poison anything, which is annoying. So, really would want like a Joachim then. Let's have Amir draw us a card. Okay, that's like the worst possible card in our deck. And our ball is just going to give us essentially 12 points, because it's not giving us any boosts on any of those cards, and the poisons are getting no value. But 12 points is still pretty good. Okay, I guess we should have put him ranged, because we should have known that could happen. We lost 1 point there. But I don't think he has a card for 12. As he's playing Heatwave, and he's playing Amir, so I don't think he has room for his own Artois. Yeah, it's GG. Okay, let's see what happens in this. Preferably not a Nilfgaard mirror match. We just had one of those. Sketchy or edgy Raven. It's we're gonna call him by his name. Edgy Raven, I like that spelling. Okay, so blood money. Gives access to damage, probably devotion. So our ball will live this time. Servant's okay, but we have a lot of rot tossers. So this is aristocrat and Fergus go together, but I don't really want to use Fergus this round. But let's have the option. Oh, of course we get the mage assassin. Plays seditious aristocrat. It does generate points for us, and I forgot to say in the deck profile, the rot tossers also give us spying, so it's not a super weak card, but it's not like we're playing mass spying. We do give out enough spyings though that it's worth a lot. Well, worth enough. Not too unexpected. We can go for one of our rot tossers here. This round's going to be really hard without the ball, so I think we kind of have to rely on Phillipe here for a lot, and we might have to play Vincent and such. A little annoying. But hopefully if we can stop all of his coin spenders, we have a shot. Octavia. We just drew one. We just drew one. He probably has Scoundrel and Brute. That's what you have Octavia for, right? You draw the Scoundrel, you draw the Brute. Both very high-end, high-provision cards. Let's put this out here. He might actually just let us kill this, but I really don't think he should. He is going to let us kill it. I think we can just lock here. And then play our... Do we play Mage Assassin? Like, I don't want to play these other cards. I think we use this. We're up by 3. I don't want to play these other cards. I guess Mage Assassin's too small though, right? We have to do this. And if we play Mage Assassin, it's a dead giveaway for him to push. Phillipe's less. Okay. So we don't get him this game, which is a little unfortunate because he's a very powerful card in the deck. But we'll just go to the next round. We know he has a Brute finisher. Well, we don't know, but I assume that he has a Brute finisher. And he also has a Scoundrel he'll probably play. He did only draw 1 with Octavia, but you're definitely running 2 if you're playing Octavia, right? You're not just going to take advantage of her to draw 1 card. Because why draw 1 card when you could play like Royal Decree and do that instead? To play the card. Let's see, we have Cupbearer, have a... Okay, that's nice. We'll put back our Mage Assassin for sure. Do the Blightmaker. Okay, well, we tried. Tried to get a new card. Let's see what he does. He might be aggressive here. Because he probably has a good short round with Brute. Yeah, he's going to go for this. No flying Redanian still. We'll pull out a Mage Assassin in our deck in case he passes. But I don't think he's going to. Don't quite expect it. And there's the Scoundrel. This isn't really a big deal for us. There's no bronzes we really need.
Oh dear. Have I something in my teeth?
He's gonna kill that off. Let's see. If he's pushing, we want to try and get ahead on even here. Well, we want to go up a card here if he's pushing. The question is, how do we do that? Like, I want to save Ball, but Ball could get us that advantage. And if we're going to play a Ball, this would be a good turn to do it because it puts us ahead just with the 4-point person. But let's threaten him with a poison. This is a really big threat to him because we poison this, he's just gone. And it's also not necessarily only a threat because we can Vincent that to kill it. So this provides us with a potential threat that if we poison this again, it's gone. And we're up really, like, a lot. And then we could just Vincent it if we don't have the poison, which we don't. Oh, he's going to put a bounty out and then kill it. Not too bad. We might just Vincent this to get the tempo. I think we do. And it also removes the option of a spender for him. Obviously, a second poison would be better than using Vincent's ability, but Vincent's what we had, so it's what we used. Don't see that card very much. I think we could go for our Seditious Aristocrats here, maybe? Yeah. He's playing pretty heavy into the removal, so he might... I think he's just saving up for the Witch Hunter Executioner, maybe a Freak Show. Probably has one of those in his hand. I'm going to try and blow up all of our units. There's the Executioner. So we can lock that. We have 3. Okay, he's just going to go for all of it. Okay, so we lose 6 here if we play 1 card and pass. So we need 6 points. So I think we go ball and then we lock. We'll have to use ball to get up a card here. Otherwise, we will go down. He's going to pass here. He got what he wanted out of this round. But we should have a pretty decent round 3 still. We do have Invocation for his Brute Finisher, because I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be. And then as long as we stop him from having coin spenders to spend his coins, we should be okay. I really don't imagine he plays any more cards here. Yeah, there's the pass. Let's see what we have here for round 3. What we'd really like is our Joachim and Coup. There's our Coup. We do have Fergus, so we can play Coup on anything we want. Yeah, we want Joachim. You only have 1 poison here. It's not amazing. Oh, perfect. We did draw our Joachim. So let's just play this. It has the potential to generate points, and he'll probably kill this, right? Yeah, we have to watch out for his Freak Show, because when the Freak Show comes down, it's gonna have 9 damage and these 8 more damage from his leader. So that would be a lot. So 21 point swing there. Now he's got a bounty set up, so we'll get return stuff too. Cou's pretty nice. Let's see what we get here. There he is. There's no reason not to poison this, because we can't make another poison. And it also makes him have to spend a couple more coins to kill our Thirsty Dame. I expect the Freak Show to come down pretty soon, though. Maybe not. Maybe he only had the Witch Hunter Executioner, but I find that a little bit unlikely. Witchfinder. We lock that with our Hunter here. And so he's got 21 points plus 3, 24, gets 4 back. He's got 28 point potential play if he has the Freak Show, I think it is. Let's see if we're right. I'm not sure about hitting that 1 armor. I think he had enough damage to hit other stuff. I forgot how many we had. I think if he goes up by 3 or... I think he goes up by 4. We got the number right. Up by 5? Yeah, we're pretty close. Still, I think we locked this. He will generate more coins. And we don't want him to have those. Our Artwad plays for 12 if we do Witchfinder. I've seen better, but we'll do it here anyway. And then we have our Invocation for his last say, which I'm still guessing is the Brute. And he can't spend those coins, so that's good for us. And we should be okay here. No jackpot. He can't spend the brute coins, so it's gonna just be a 10. And we'll just pass here. GG. Alright, let's go to game 3. See if we can find something a little different. We're playing a lot of control decks. I want to play some engine decks. Alright, so here it is. If I admit this could be a mill deck, that means it won't be a mill deck, right? That's how this works. But I do know that if it is a mill deck, I will win. So I'm just going to say it's not a mill deck. Because mill doesn't exist. This is going to be something else, like hyper thin, who knows. It's going to be something else. Some kind of combo maybe, but not a mill deck. So I don't know why I always seem to find mill players. I don't think everyone's playing mill. It just, whenever I make a video, it seems like a mill player appears to join the video. When I'm not recording, I don't see any mill players. It's just when I start recording, they just appear, like they want to just appear in my video. I don't get it. Also, I saw Sunset Wanderers, I think, there. So, that's pretty much a guarantee in tactical decision if it's hyper thin or mill. I don't see a lot of hyper thin nowadays. An Amnesty. Stealing a Golem. That's a choice. I mean, what else is he going to pick, really? But it's just kind of funny. No one would really want to take that if they had a choice. We'll pull out this Mage Assassin here. We do want to be a bit careful. Sunset Wanderers moving again. We don't want to thin too much in case it is mill. We don't have ball. If we had ball in our hand, it's pretty much a guaranteed win versus mill. But I'm not sure that's what this is still. Attorney Joust. That's a lot of statuses on one unit. Oh, isn't there an achievement for putting every status on a unit? I don't know if I have that one. We'd have to lock this and give it resilience. I can't give it resilience. Never mind. I'll get that achievement some other time. Another Attorney Joust. That's a lot of control. That's probably leading more towards mill than hyper thin. Let's play this Hunter. We could have put bleeding on this, but I'm thinking we're probably going to have to Vincent or something. We can always use Phillipe to poison it. Bleeding was probably better. Okay, yeah. This looks like some kind of no-unit mill or something. I don't know what else it would be. So probably, like I said, we're probably to Vincent this. Let's give it a poison, I suppose. World of Curry, that's interesting. Snowdrop, that's also interesting. Still not entirely sure what he's playing, but I think it's some version of mill. So we have to be careful about passing. Although to be fair, he hasn't actually banished any of our cards yet. So if it is mill, he has 10 plays round. Okay, if he doesn't banish any cards this round, I think we might be able to pass round 2 and still have 10 cards round 3. I don't know what this is. If it's mill, we're not getting milled yet, which is weird. Could be a Shoop deck, potentially. We'll start getting out some poisons with this guy now. Get rid of him. It might be a Shoop deck. Whenever stuff's weird, you can always think it might be Shoop. That's a possibility. No, it's not Shoop. That's his second one of these. So it has to be mill. Nothing else makes any sense. Maybe he's running this for Jean Calvi. Jean Calvi apparently is a card that's in mill nowadays. That might be what's going on here. There's the Emissary. Whatever you put this on, it's not going to go well because I'm just going to poison it or Vincent it. I think the Vincent swing here is probably big enough. I think we do that. We'll use Phillipe to poison the guy in the back. And we'll Vincent the snowdrop. That should really convince him to leave. So we lost 1 point by not putting that bleeding on this guy in the back earlier. Oh, he's going to draw. Whoa. This is going to be some value. This is going to be some real value. So we don't... Wait. We don't poison yet. We move first. We move these here. We get +5 for being 5 statuses. And we... There we go. 9 for 4. Pretty good. Plus it gave all those statuses to Snowdrop. Or, Sunset Wanderers. Pretty good. Pretty good. But this isn't usually what happens. You play the Van Morleham Servant. Usually you move like 1 or 2. Don't move, you copy. Not move, you copy. Round 2. Okay, so here's the thing. He hasn't milled us at all. Other than that 1 draw. And he's only going to have 8 cards in this round. Or 7 cards? 7 cards. So he only has 7 cards. There's no way he makes it. He successfully mills us. So I think we just pass. Right? There's no way he mills us. That's not Shoop. He's played a bunch of tactics. He does have some high-end cards left. But my guess is it's actually a mill deck. And I think if I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, it'll just pass. Whatever it is, if it's some kind of scam like Vatier or Colgrim somehow, the thing is, we have locks on our leader and an invocation. So nothing's going to get us through a defender. So I'm not really concerned, whatever it is. And if it's not one of those things, okay, yeah, he's going to banish. So it is mill. He is milling us. That's what I thought, but he can't mill us in this round. What is his plan? He doesn't have a leader. He doesn't have Snowdrop. That's like the only long round potential they have. Weird game. Definitely a weird one. GG. Next game here. I think this will be the last one. We had a longer intro to this video than usual, so do one less game. Rage of the Sea. Interesting. It's Rioghan version. I hate the Rioghan version of this deck. It's too polarizing. You win round 1 or you lose the game. Also, I don't like playing it. Really don't like this. Like, you have one choice, and it's to win round 1 or lose the game. I mean, you can also banish Rioghan, but we can't actually do that, so we have to win round 1. Like, it's not... I don't hate it that much. It's just annoying. Well, I don't like playing it, though, because if your strategy gets ruined, what do you do? So I like other versions of Rain. Even though Rain got nerfed with the Gedneyeth 1 provision. These are versions. Whatever. We'll thin our deck here. Mage Assassin. Pretty standard stuff you've seen a dozen times already. So we have to win this round no matter what. But when I say no matter what, we're going to try and hold on to Ball. If we don't have Ball, our round 2 push to force out the Rioghan will be... I don't think it'll be big enough. Go for a Rot Tosser, maybe? I think the Rot Tosser is going to be pretty poor here, because usually there's a Hermit or a... what's the other cultist called? He has 2... Well, usually they run 2 to 4 cards that can damage the adjacent unit. And that just kind of kills Rot Tosser, so we're just going to try and get it out early and see if he has those. We could have locked with Collar, by the way. This is not a bad card to lock. It's good value. But really, I'm trying to save those for Messenger of the Sea. Yeah, there's the Hermit. We lose our cow. Let's play another one. He probably doesn't have a second Hermit or the other cultist. What's its name? Smallblood cultist? Is that what it is? Probably doesn't have it. You'd think I know the names of all these skeleton cards, but no, I don't. I just forget them. But yeah, the Order, the Melusian Cultist gets a lot of value rates. Order gives you 4 points, usually. Okay, as long as this isn't double discard, I think we're still in this. Like, not double discard for units. Okay, that's a bit annoying. That could be a problem. We do have a poison here. I think we throw this out. This is a pretty good poison. Play for 10. And we're still ahead. We have the Cupbearer for poison or purify. Really, we want to save that so we can have an easier time getting to his Fulmar behind the defender. But we do have Invocation, but that means we can't Invocation Melusine. So we have to be a little bit careful. Also, you don't have to get to Fulmar if you're bleeding it out, but it's obviously preferable if you can because it makes it harder for him. And Vincent also can kill a defender, so that's something to keep in mind. There's several ways to deal with that. We can also doom stuff with Phillipe if we need to. Got a funny story about Phillipe, the name, but I think he'll be doing his turn fast enough that I don't have time to tell it. Look at that, it's called motivation. As soon as I say I would tell a funny story, he does something. See? We motivate him to play. Now we can use Vincent this and get rid of it. Let's do that. You could Invocation this to keep it, but I think he's going to Fukusha it back and try and boost it round 2. And potentially brings it back here and wastes his Fukusha, and then we take it. So I kind of want that to happen. So Vincent was one of our ways to get rid of a defender. We still have the Purify, so that's an option. But we are not really too concerned with the defender. We're more concerned with forcing all the cards to be played in the next round. So we could have held on to Vincent there. We could have gone for poison. We could have gone for Invocation. I just kind of wanted to Fukusha it back here. That's pretty smart by him. Let's lock this Hermit. And we don't have to play too much here. Let's go for a couple bleeding. Do that. Now, he does have to... He's not going to get out of this without Messenger of the Sea and Leader Charges, which is basically what we want. We want the Leader Charges gone, because they're part of what makes the Rioghan so dangerous. Okay, I'm going to have to start telling the story about Phillipe now if he doesn't hurry up. Come on, that's motivation. Play a card. Okay, there's Messenger of the Sea. He needs a Leader Charge, assuredly here. There it is. So we can poison and lock with our Leader. It's not bad. I think that's our choice here. Leader lock, we poison. If we locked this Melusine Cultist earlier, we would have saved a lot of points. Maybe it was worth to use the collar on it, but I was kind of saving it for these messengers. Okay, we'll do this. Now we can go for Phillipe. If we keep going, Phillipe can poison that, and then potentially if we have to Invocation, he can poison the other one. Decoction. Yeah, we'll go Phillipe here. We'll remove the Messenger from the Sea. Now, if he has Freya's Blessings, where this is bad, because we'll have to use Invocation or our ball here. But he'd also have to use his last Leader Charge. I don't think he wants to do that. So I think this is the turn he passes. If he does bring Messenger back, we could Invocation it, and then he won't be able to bring it back again because he'll be gone. It's also doomed, so it won't even go on our deck, so we have to worry about that. Yeah, this is where he passes. Really, we just want 2 Aristocrats. Archwad would be nice, but... I mean, there's 2 Aristocrats. What was it, our deck? No, this is good. We want to thin our deck with Blintmaker. We have the 2 Aristocrats. Fergus plus the other one goes well together. Then we can draw into Archwad round 3. This is pretty good. I like this. Our goal here is just to force out the Rioghan, and we should be fine for round 3. Because Melusine's super small if he does end up bringing it back at some points in 8. He might bring it back right now, honestly. like open that. I don't think these versions run Gedenieth, which is good because Gedenieth's like the like if they play for example, if this is my rain deck and it runs Gedenieth, if you play Gedenieth, you can match this pretty well. And there's a Doom, so that's a +1 point. Very nice. I think we thin here. No, let's go Aristocrats. Put a poison on Coral. If he has Defender, we Invocation it. And this is the turn he plays Defender if he has it. So I was wondering, that's why I was thinking about Blightmaker first. Okay, he does have the Purify. Not too surprising. We'll go for our thinning here. We're going Fergus. Fergus still gives us 3. Or a 6, I mean. So there's 3 on the Aristocrats and then 3 on the Thirsty Dame. And then we play, so that's a 6, it's a 13. We get 4 off of the ball. It's a 17. We get the poison. That's our status, so 18. An 18-point play with Fergus. It's still pretty good. Ball gonna play for 14 total. Well, I guess 17 if we count the Fergus statuses for the Aristocrat lady. Fergus Blessing, he's not the leader with this. Maybe we lock that. It denies 4. He just uses Grimace too. Of course, he still has Bride of the Sea as an option. That gives him our Purify. So locking is not too permanent, but we'll do it anyway. And we'll do Fergus. Yeah, this is a big play. Poison her. No, I don't know about Invocation here. I don't know if we play it. I think it depends on what he does. He has no rain, though, so Rioghan's not great. Even he could bring it back, which I'm sure he can. I think here we force out Fukusha or the Rioghan. Like Fukusha and Messenger. Okay, there's the Defender, which he elected to not play earlier. We could take that. I think we do. And now he has the Rioghan. Like, he has to play Fukusha Rioghan. Or he has to Rioghan somehow, and he needs some rain. So if he has Falmar, that's probably what he plays here. I think he needs Falmar or Fukusha to have a chance here. Like, Falmar or Fukusha. Because he has played Cinder of his Right, I believe. I think he's played it. Maybe not. No, I don't think he has. No, he hasn't. So he needs Fukusha. Or Right. Actually, he probably needs both. 23 is a lot. Okay, Falmar will probably be good. He won't get the Storm effect. He just give us some rain, though. There's more rain. Kind of knew that was going to happen. Okay, he needs 10. He has 3 on board. He's got 3 on board if count as leader, because leader gives him 2, and then losing Cultist boosts by 1. So he only needs 8 points. Anything that brings back Rioghan's good enough. Bride of the Sea is good enough on basically any card. There's a Storm. We just the draw into Artwad. He will have his Rioghan left, but no leader charges, no Falmar, so that's not too concerning. So we'll just have to draw pretty good. Like, we still have Joachim and Ku and Artwad in our deck. We should be fine. Okay, so he's going to win the round. There's the Bride. He wins this round. That's okay. We'll just get him the next one. This is a leader gives him 2 from the Siren, and then that gives him 1. Did he just pass? You should have won the round, dude. Alright, so, back in here. That last game was a little bit disappointing at the end. He should have kept going, but I guess he assumed that we would have just won. Which is probably true, honestly, but whatever. So, if we look at the deck here, I think it's okay. It's kind of hard to fit exactly what we want, right? Like, Artoad's good, but maybe Brothen's is better. And there's a lot of choices now, which is probably good. Like, it's good that there's more choices, right? So, you can do Brothen's with the Spyings. You can do Amir. I'm not the biggest fan of Amir. I like Artoad here. So I think the upper range here is pretty okay. There's certainly ways you can change it. Auckes. Alright, Auckes was never really useful. You have enough locks, so we don't need him. He was just a 6 provision filler card. because we needed it. What I think is we probably don't need the 2 seditious aristocrats. Probably not. I'm pretty happy with the rest of the bronzes. Rot Tosser. It's fine. We'll use it for now. Blade Maker. This is fine. What we're really looking for here is I kind of want another card to give out Spying, so that the Artois a bit more consistent without just Fergus. So I think we will go to our good old friend Mage Torturer for that. If I was in 5 provisions, we would have found it a lot faster, wouldn't we? So I think we'll do this. Now again, we're at the 6 provision filler card. I'm not sure about Cupbearer. I like Cupbearer. It has Assimilate, but it's expensive-ish for what it does. Alright, because if you compare this to like the other Purifies, they're usually even. Like Queen of the Knights is 6 for 6 with Purify or a second one, which is Bleeding. And then you got Vitality 4, Purifying Ida. She's a 6 for 6. He's a 5 for 7 still. It's just a little bit... I really wish he was 6 provisions, but whatever. He does have an engine tag on him, so it's fair, I suppose. So I want to put the Mage Torturer in. I think we'll take out both Seditious Aristocrats, actually. And then we can go for a 4 and a 7. I think Treason's the card I'm looking for here. Treason or Dead Man's Tongue. Fair card's not bad either. Treason gives us Spying and does damage. And Dead Man's Tongue thins our deck. I think that thinning our deck's a little more valuable. I'll go with a 4. I think we run the second Servant. Try this. This might be a little better. There's a lot of experimentation here, and I've tried a bunch of different versions, so the reason we haven't settled on a final one is because there's so many options, right? If you run an Amir deck, you could run a Mirror deck, you could run something with Soldiers still in it, you could do an Ardal deck, but then you have more tactics. I don't think you do Ardal with Ball necessarily, but did he have Jean Calvi, Brothans? There's so many choices here, which is good. I like it when there's choices. It's just hard to figure out which is the best. This is why I've tried so many versions before making this one. This probably still isn't the best, but this might be better. I think I like it a little better. So it's just Aristocrats. We're a bit awkward. Maybe I was overestimating the importance of having that many vampires. Never know. But I think we'll try this. As far as the deck's performance, it did well. It's unfortunately we didn't find any of the Witch's Sabbath Monsters players. Those are really the people who don't like this deck, because you just poison and you can just give Doomed with Phillipe, and you can just poison everything, right? They put a bunch of guys behind defenders, then you just put the Rot Tossers next to them, you poison the defender, you get Invocation, their key cards, especially Raka's Queen if they're playing that version, and you can do so much to them with it that I kind of wanted to test it out, because they still have a ton of engine value, and I wasn't sure we'd get a win. I wanted to try it. And we didn't really play any siege decks or any of those big engine decks, or no unit decks. I was playing a bunch of those earlier today when I was trying different versions. I tried like I said earlier, I tried a Emir version, I tried a Brothans version, tried an Emir and Brothans version, tried an Ardal version, that didn't work out so well. I tried a Katarvine version too, like put all the poison cards in, and I tried that as well. That was interesting. I played quite a few games with that, but it was okay. I think this is the best version, but we ended up playing like mostly pretty standard stuff, I'd say. Not really. I'm just kidding. Played a bunch of weird decks when we made this. But hopefully it was enlightening either way and you found it helpful. And I think that'll be it here. There's definitely changes you can make. You could run a version where you use the Blight Makers to make cow carcasses. I don't recommend that, but you could. And I think that'll be it for this one. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and we'll see you next time.